Hello, everybody. This is Miss Valley Entertainment News, and as per usual, as I am most of the time, my name is Dread. How y'all doing? We're going to take a look at a video by Toasty DIY called "Why Gaming is Going Downhill," and I'm going to react to it. Let's jump into it. But first, I'm going to tell you the original video is linked down below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel, ringing the bell for notifications, leaving a like, and drop it into the comments. Be glad to hear from you. Let's get her done. Get her done!
Have you played a game this last year that was just
No.
boring?
Oh,
I think most of us have.
I
but
played
this
no
last
games
year,
this
there
year.
were tons of games that just flopped. Now, in some cases, it's.
I'm
buggy
sorry. I'm
gameplay.
talking over the guy. I apologize. And he talks a little bit low. I'm going to start this again. Calm yourself, Dread. Calm yourself. You can get through it. Let him talk.
Have you played a game this last year that was just boring? I think most of us have, but this last year there were tons of games that just flopped. Now, in some cases, it's buggy gameplay, overpromised, under-delivered garbage, and at times it was at best just a money grab. Though out of all the games last year, one seemed to do surprisingly well: Baldur's Gate 3. Dungeons & Dragons nerds rejoice as we finally have a new gateway drug to our supreme tabletop fantasies. While D&D is clearly a tried and true game format, I hold that the game has some of the, if not the best writing of the past few years. Just by playing this game, I learned all sorts of new words. In my case, Gale was my new traveling thesaurus buddy. Oh, and quick sidebar here, Lump the Enlightened in Act 1 is one of the coolest characters ever. However, I don't know the anatomy of tieflings, but technically when Lump says,
"Those horns, such cartilaginous crunch,"
he uses the word cartilaginous, but technically horns are made of keratin, so there should be no marrow or cartilage. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. All of this to say that writing can truly elevate a game or destroy it.
Just tell your boss, Mr. Chicken Giggin. Gwiggin. Giggin! All right, Giggin. Quick gig.
Now, using my personal disappointment game of the year, let's talk about bad writing. Spoiler warning to those of you who haven't played it yet, and don't hate me if you enjoyed the game, but that game is Starfield.
No shock there.
Now, before anyone goes screaming at me about how good Starfield is, I just want to say that this is mostly my opinions, and I honestly couldn't get past about 4 hours into the game. I have hundreds of hours in Skyrim on multiple platforms, so when it comes to the Bethesda formula, I'm all on board. Starfield.
Whoa. Calling himself a star. He's calling himself a Skyrim expert kind of thing here. He didn't say expert. I'm throwing that in there. But he's suggesting he's like a Skyrim or Bethesda expert for having hundreds of hours in Skyrim. I'm not going to say anything other than just good-naturedly. I hope when he says hundreds, he means like 900s or 2900s or 4700s. Because if you got like a couple of hundred hours in Skyrim, you're still a Skyrim baby, dude. You're still a Skyrim baby. Wow.
Starfield just failed to hold my interest in a significant way, so I left it behind. Besides, I had to finish up some other games that I've been lacking on that had much more enjoyable and well-written stories.
Know what the fuck that is.
どや楽しんどるか
Now, all jokes aside, I'm going to continue to break down my disappointment into a few key categories so I don't rant for too long. But spoiler, I do have a soapbox and I'm ready to stand on it. First is location, 2 is lack of effort, and 3 is poor implementation. I think these combined caused most of the issues in their writing, so let's get started. Okay, imagine your favorite sci-fi show or movie. Think about the places they've told you about or shown to you.
So many good
There's
ones.
an infinite number of possibilities that can exist in these universes. You can have any type of planet you want, and these shows which is perfect for breathtaking spectacles or harsh reality-crushing experiences.
Yep.
As a writer, you can create any setting you want. Starfield uses this amazing power to begin us in a mining complex. But maybe it's got something under the surface, no pun intended. After all, Luke came from the humble moisture farm. They might be trying to set expectations low so they can blow us away with an amazing set piece in the coming gameplay, or in a worst case, this might be a functional, albeit boring, tutorial zone. I mean, I've just loaded the game for the first time, so I'm enjoying the sights. Roughly 13 minutes later, you find yourself face to face with a strange object. This object that is going to turn you from nobody into somebody. I don't know how you all felt, but when I interacted with the artifact, I thought I was being pulled into some whooshing Starfield. title transition. And that actually wasn't what it was. Instead, I just saw the universe. And if you're more observant than me, you might have spotted some shapes out in that universe. In the interest of being fair, however, let's compare Bethesda to a couple other intros. In Baldur's Gate 3, you start as a prisoner in a Mind Flayer ship. That sentence alone is just chef's kiss. And by 13 minutes in, you're fighting your way past devils to escape. Screw it. In Oblivion, within the first minute, you're talking to the King of Cyrodiil. By 13 minutes in, you're a royal undercover courier, for lack of better terms. But back in Starfield, you're just having a vision.
Still not as annoying as Starfield.
Now, this vision you have when the artifact activates is, in my opinion, very dumb. Now, I'll admit I never got far enough to see where the vision truly led, though I'll argue that this galaxy view was just dumb and there could have been a better hook. A better hook might have been showing anything that made me confused or ask questions. For instance, as you touch the rock, you see a face of someone you've never met. Or a point of view of you unaliving an NPC, but as you wake up, that same person is greeting you. Possibly, you might see this artifact as part of a half-done blueprint of some ship, something that gets the player going, not a complete what the heck is this moment after making them wait 8-10 minutes to see this.
Lazy ass writing. Lazy ass writing.
But this is where the game gets far too lazy, because after touching this rock, some guy appears. He seems to know the mining leader, and suddenly you're attacked. After repelling these invaders, this man decides to just give you his spaceship. I mean, he also puts a robot in charge of directing you, but because you touched this rock and had a psilocybin level ego death, apparently you need to go to his base and fast.
Is that right, cowboy? Went on a trip, huh?
Wrapping this back to Bethesda's own games, by this point in Skyrim, we've possibly picked a side in a war we know nothing about, escaped a dragon attack, and fought our way to freedom. We're not given a horse-pulled carriage, a pouch of gold, you're given a smack on the ass, and you're on your way to Riverwood. We don't even learn that you're special until after Bleak Falls Barrow. But whatever. He gives you a ship, and you take off into space. But oh no, wait. The Crimson Cucks won't stop attacking you. So this robot decides that instead of making a break for like a secure planet, you should fly over and kill their captain. Like that decision will make you less hunt-worthy to the fleet. It's a fleet, not just one crew. Now you're told that the captain is currently holed up in an abandoned facility. Now this must be where the game picks up. Space.
This is the plot to Starfield? This is the plot to a slow death. Oh.
Pirates in an abandoned facility. Now this is a super cool setup. Imagine, maybe it's some sort of Hoth-like tundra base underground, or maybe it's a base that's circling a sun, or even better, this jungle research base where Crimson Raiders are using old biology experiments for some sort of amusement.
Probably
as a
not.
messed up form of Pokemon. I mean, anything is better than that dark yellow piss hole we just came from.
I'll follow you from here on out, Captain.
Or it can just be another boring gray moon. That's cool too. Two big notes about this. Number one is the fact that we land here to see a ship taking off. If we came here because they're hunting us, why didn't we take out that ship? Or why is it even ignoring us when we're landing a few hundred feet away? It should come after us if it's that important. Second, for what reason don't we just strafe the base with our ship lasers? Like, we just stopped being a miner who luckily survived an attack. What makes this dumb speak and spell think that we can take on an entire bandit camp now? I get that there will always be some plot that is easier not to think about, but this is the beginning of the game, and they could at least ground these ideas in the narrative since we're just starting out. After killing everything that can breathe on that base, you move on to New Atlantis, what must be an amazing aquatic... Oh, okay, it's just the normal, like, sci-fi town. Honestly, I won't shit on New Atlantis too hard because this is kind of where I pieced out of the game. I just figured at this point they didn't care about the story, and I wasn't gonna either. I tried walking around to the stores for maybe a side quest to get me swept off in the game, but I came up pretty empty-handed. Well, like, in Riverwood, I stumbled onto 2 or 3 quests pretty easy and had a lot of fun with them. I even was chopping wood and having a good time. Continuing down the game's path leads you to Constellation.
Oh, you just don't know how to play the game. If you spend 275 hours in New Atlantis, Todd and Emil promise you'll understand how good the game is.
Where you have a super boring meeting where they try to explain to you that what you're seeing in front of you, like that you the player can't tell, is no ordinary machine. Afterwards, the Queen Bee tells you that you can work for them and they'll even give you room and board like you've worked for it. So now the game begins, more proper. You're on your quest to gather the MacGuffins that no one understands. And that's fine, plenty of games send you out in the world to gather puzzle pieces, 3-star every level, or scrape your way through some obscure Easter eggs, or even save the universe.
Greetings!
but Starfield does it in such a way that just bores me. That on top of being console exclusive, and that this is the best Bethesda can do after teasing Elder Scrolls 6 over 5 years ago, it's just really disappointing. I really believe that Starfield could have been a game that everyone could get more out of, but looking online, it's pretty divisive. Clearly, you can see what camp I sit in, but I've talked to family members who really enjoyed it. Side note, none of them really finished the game, but they told me that there were unique reveals and twists in the story that really did sound cool, but the only drive I had was to keep playing because I spent $10 on Game Pass. In the end, I'm just sad because few games really seem to care about their writing anymore. They just care about if there'll be the next skin in the Fortnite Battle Pass.
Look, I'm a rock star in real life. We was doing Grand Theft Autos, hidden links, home invasions. It was
Yeah, I don't have actually a lot to add to this. What do you people think? I mean, it's just lazy. It's just lazy writing, it's lazy ideas, it's lazy sets. It's how can we just slap stuff together and make a game? Well, Todd, should we liven it up a little? No. Keep it dumb. People like our games are dumb. Keep it dumb. So we shouldn't add in anything interesting? No. We don't want to get their expectations too high for Elder Scrolls 6 to be anything but Starfield, but not in space. I mean, how anyone could look at Starfield and say it's a well-written game, and it's an exciting game, that it's groundbreaking. But some people say those things, and I don't know where they get that from other than out of the depths of their mind where they make it up. It's just not a good game, dudes. It's just not a good game. Is it a game? Yes. Can you play it? Yes. Will Bethesda happily take your money for it? Yes. But it's not a good game. It seriously seems like it had no effort into it at all. That may be one of the best things I can say about it. Give me a pro about Starfield. Well, it didn't take much effort from anyone in Bethesda. So they had more energy to go home and do things, I guess. Goodness knows they weren't at home thinking about work all the time. They just show up and they'd be like, what should we do? I don't know. Let's just copy and paste what we did yesterday. Okay. It's just really a very, very sad state of gaming when you look at Starfield. It is really a sad state of gaming. And you can be sure this is what Bethesda wants to do going forward. Minimal effort, boring, vanilla, cardboard, cookie cutter games, and let people come out and buy them. Or throw them on Game Pass. Call it a success. I don't know. I can't say anything much more than that, people. Let me know what you thought about Toasty DIY's video, and if you thought it accurately depicted Starfield. And from Miss Valley Entertainment News, my name is Dread. Good night.